Take a moment with me. If you've been worried about losing strength, feeling weaker than you used to, or noticing that your muscles don't respond the way they once did, I want you to stay right here with me. I see this concern every single day in my clinic, and I want you to know something important from the very beginning. This is not a personal failure, and it's not just aging. Many people are told very casually, drink bone broth. It's great for your muscles. And while bone broth has its place, today I want to gently, honestly, and clearly explain why there is one everyday food that does far more to build muscle and fight sarcopenia, and why most people completely overlook it. Let me say this calmly and directly, the way I would say it to a patient sitting across from me. Muscle loss is not inevitable. Weakness is not your destiny. And you do not need expensive supplements or trendy superfoods to protect your body. Now, before I tell you what this food is, let me explain why this conversation matters so much. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength, doesn't announce itself loudly. It sneaks in quietly. You notice you get tired sooner. You struggle to carry groceries. Your balance isn't as steady. Your posture changes. And over time, this loss of muscle affects your metabolism, your blood sugar, your joints, even your confidence. When patients come to me, they often say, Doctor, I eat healthy. I drink bone broth. Why am I still getting weaker? And I understand the frustration. Truly, I do, because they are trying. They are making an effort. Here's the honest medical truth. Bone broth is not a muscle building food. Pause for a second and let that sink in. Bone broth contains collagen. Collagen is not a complete protein. It lacks the essential amino acids your muscles require to grow and repair, especially one critical amino acid called leucine. And leucine is the key that turns on muscle protein synthesis, the biological switch that tells your body it's time to build and protect muscle. Without enough leucine, your muscles simply don't get the signal, no matter how much bone broth you drink. Now, let me introduce the food that does this job exceptionally well. A food that is simple, affordable, widely available, and backed by decades of solid medical research. That food is eggs. I want you to hear me clearly, not as a trend, not as a headline, but as medical guidance. Whole eggs are one of the most powerful foods we have for building muscle and slowing sarcopenia, especially as we age. Eggs contain high quality, complete protein. They provide all 9 essential amino acids. And most importantly, they are rich in leucine. This is why, in controlled studies, egg protein consistently outperforms collagen and many plant proteins when it comes to muscle maintenance. Let me explain this in a way that's easy to understand. Your muscles are like a house that constantly needs repairs. Protein provides the building materials. Leucine is the foreman that tells the workers when to start. Bone broth gives you some bricks, but no foreman. Eggs give you both. Now, there's something else I want to address gently because I know many of you are thinking it. But doctor, what about cholesterol? This is a very common concern, and it's a reasonable one. For many years, eggs were unfairly blamed for heart disease. We now know from large high-quality studies that for most people, dietary cholesterol from eggs does not significantly raise heart disease risk. In fact, eggs often improve HDL, the protective cholesterol, and provide nutrients that actually support cardiovascular health. More importantly, the risk of muscle loss, frailty, falls, insulin resistance, and loss of independence is far more immediate and dangerous for many adults than the cholesterol in an egg. Let me say this carefully because this is an important truth. Weak muscles shorten lives more reliably than eggs do. Now, let's talk about why eggs are especially powerful against sarcopenia. As we age, our muscles become resistant to protein. This is called anabolic resistance. It means you need higher quality protein, not just more protein to stimulate muscle growth. Eggs meet this requirement beautifully. They are easy to digest. Their amino acid profile is ideal, and they deliver leucine in a form your body can actually use. I often tell my patients this. It's not about eating more. It's about eating smarter. 1 or 2 eggs at breakfast can stimulate muscle protein synthesis more effectively than a large bowl of collagen-rich broth. And when combined with gentle resistance activity, even something as simple as standing up from a chair repeatedly, the effect is amplified. Now, I want to slow down here and speak with honest seriousness. Sarcopenia is not just about muscles. It affects your immune system. It affects your hormones. It affects how well you recover from illness or surgery. I've seen patients who were nutritionally weak struggle to bounce back from infections that others recovered from easily. Muscle is not cosmetic tissue. It is a metabolic organ. Eggs also provide nutrients that bone broth simply doesn't. Vitamin B12, which supports nerve function and energy. Choline, which supports brain health and muscle control. Vitamin D, in small but meaningful amounts, which supports muscle strength and balance, selenium, which supports antioxidant defenses. This combination matters, especially as we get older. Now, I want to be very clear about something. I am not telling you to eliminate bone broth if you enjoy it. Bone broth can support joint comfort and hydration, but it should not be your primary muscle protecting strategy. It is a supporting actor, not the lead. The lead role belongs to high quality complete protein, and eggs are one of the best examples we have. Let me share something personal from my practice. I've had elderly patients who were terrified of falling, weak legs, poor grip strength. After adjusting their diet to include eggs regularly, along with gentle strength movements, their confidence changed, their posture improved, their walking speed increased. Not overnight, but steadily, safely, naturally. This is what real health progress looks like. Not dramatic transformations, but quiet strength returning. Now, how many eggs should you eat? I don't like giving rigid numbers without context. Most healthy adults can safely consume 1 to 3 whole eggs per day, depending on their overall diet, activity level, and medical history. If you have specific conditions like advanced cardiovascular disease, this should be discussed with your personal doctor. But for the majority of people, eggs are not the enemy. Muscle loss is, and I want to address another quiet fear I hear often. Doctor, I'm too old to build muscle. Let me look you in the eye metaphorically and say this with care and confidence. That is not true. Muscle responds to nutrition and movement at any age. The response may be slower, but it still happens. I have seen it in people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The human body is remarkably resilient when given the right signals. Eggs provide one of those signals. If you're listening to this and feeling a bit overwhelmed, take a breath with me. You don't need to change everything at once. Start small. Add eggs to one meal a day. Focus on consistency, not perfection. And please remember, eating eggs alone is not enough. Your muscles also need gentle resistance. That doesn't mean heavy gym workouts. It means using your muscles regularly. Standing, lifting light objects, pushing against resistance bands. Nutrition and movement work together. One without the other is incomplete. As we come toward the end of this conversation, I want to leave you with reassurance. Your body is not betraying you. It is responding to signals. When you give it the right ones, adequate protein, especially from high quality sources like eggs, combined with gentle strength use, it responds with strength, stability, and resilience. You deserve to feel strong in your body. You deserve to move with confidence. And you deserve medical advice that is honest, grounded, and focused on your long-term well-being. If you found this helpful, stay with me on this channel. My goal is not to scare you or hype you up. My goal is to guide you calmly, clearly, and safely toward better health, the way a real doctor would. Take care of yourself. Your muscles are listening.